We saw Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson come to the sideline at the end of that last drive. I asked their staff what was going on with him. They said officially there is no injury with Richardson. He was a little shaken up. He was a little out of breath. But as far as an official injury, there is none with Richardson, guys.
Yo, YouTube, what's going on with y'all, man? It's your boy Q, back at y'all with another video, man. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes, man. And today we got to talk about Anthony Richardson, bro. So long story short, the Indianapolis Colts played the Texans the other day, and they lost 23-20. And let's just say that Anthony Richardson had one of the worst games I've ever seen out of a starting quarterback in a long, long time. I think he completed less than 40% of his passes. So that's like unheard of in today's NFL, considering the fact that the rules kind of cater to the offensive players nowadays, especially the quarterback. But that wasn't even the worst thing that happened that day. It was a very odd situation, a very strange situation. Anthony Richardson makes a nice play to evade a tackler in the backfield, avoids a sack, and then literally the very next play, Buddy subs himself out of the game. And everybody at first thought that he was hurt, but Buddy just really needed a breather. I've never heard of this, never seen it before, especially when you got guys like Tua, you know, getting concussed multiple times, and people are telling him to retire, but all he wants to do is play football. You would never see Tua check himself out of the game like that, or any other quarterback in the league of that matter. I've never seen something like that before, but I got a video for y'all, man, and, I'm going to give my commentary, but we got to talk about this dude, man, because AR is tripping, bro.
Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson is coming under fire for tapping out in the middle of the game against the Houston Texans. Could this guy be benched soon for the veteran Joe Flacco? There's a big comment by the head coach.
Joe Flacco's face. That's the face that you make when you know you're finna take up somebody's job, bro. And I ain't gonna lie, the little moments that I did see Joe Flacco playing, he did play pretty well. So I'm very, very shocked that they rushed Anthony Richardson in to start to begin with, considering the fact that he didn't play a lot of college football, and the college football that he did play, he wasn't crazy good. You know what I'm saying? He just got picked solely off of potential alone. And you would think that a guy like that would have time to sit on the bench and learn, but nah, they had to force him in to play right away.
Steichen that may lead you to think that it's happening soon. We're going to break down this controversy. As you can see here in the third quarter, this was a huge moment. Everybody's talking about it. We're going to get into some of the media reaction to this. People are flaming Anthony Richardson, whether it be fair or unfair. You be the judge. 2:55 left in the third quarter. Anthony Richardson is not playing in this game.
His second sack, and Richardson's out of the game. So Richardson shaking.
Yeah, see, I feel like even if the game was even if the game was out of reach, people would still make a big deal about it. But you are the franchise quarterback, and there's 11 other guys on that field, especially the offensive linemen, that I'm pretty sure they're tired as hell because they block on every single play. And I'm pretty sure they would love to sub themselves out of the game right now, but they don't. And you got to look at the situation in which you're in at the moment. It's 3rd and goal, bro. You know what I'm saying? So you checking yourself out of a critical situation is just not going to fly well with the fans or anybody of that matter. And think about the situation that you're putting Shane Steichen in, because he probably really thought you was hurt. Even if you are hurt, I don't know, but I still would have stayed in there. But you're putting Joe Flacco in the game. Now, we get Joe Flacco is a veteran quarterback. He's been around for a long time. Super Bowl MVP, all that good stuff, right? But Joe Flacco hasn't played literally the entire game. He hasn't played the entire game. So for y'all to just throw Joe Flacco in a critical situation on 3rd and goal, and you're expecting Shane Steichen to put the ball in the air, I just think that's kind of asking a little bit too much of Joe Flacco, considering the fact that he hasn't played all game and he's cold as hell, and you're asking him to make a big play in a critical situation. I just don't think that's an ideal situation to be in. You know what I mean? If you're a head coach. But goes back to Anthony Richardson subbing himself out of the game.
He sits out. Joe Flacco comes in on 3rd and goal.
Now, this is a very interesting situation. You really never see this happen. You had tons of analysts talking about the fact that they have never seen a starting quarterback take themselves out of a game. Why did Richardson take himself out of the game out of nowhere on a critical 3rd down in the 3rd quarter? Well, he answered this himself, saying that he was just a little tired.
Man, tired. I ain't gonna lie. That was a lot of running right there that I did, and I don't think I was gonna be able to go that next play. So I just, just told Sam I just needed a.
Hey, yo, you see his numbers though? 10 for 32, 175 passing yards, which he did get a big play to Josh Downs for a long touchdown, but I don't know, bro. Buddy really got me weak right now. Buddy was like, I'm tired as hell, man. I just need to sub myself out right quick, take a play off. Nah, bro. But at least I'm glad that he kept it a buck. You know, he was honest. You know, guys like Michael Parsons are saying that he should have lied or he need PR training or whatever the case may be. But he was tired. He needed a break. You know what I mean? I don't know what type of clown show the Indianapolis Colts are running, but if I was Shane Steichen, I'd probably bench his ass the next week, bro. I ain't gonna lie. But hey, man, at least he was honest.
Right there.
He needed a break right there. He needed a little water break. Now, granted, Anthony Richardson is a mobile style of quarterback. We know he was very athletic coming out of the draft, but did not have that much experience with the Florida Gators. And look, this guy missed pretty much the entire season last year dealing with an AC joint sprain. So this is pretty much his rookie year. You would think that he'd want to prove himself, but being selected very high with a top 5 pick, he's pretty much solidified with the Indianapolis Colts. But that did not stop ESPN ripping into him for tapping out and taking a break because he was tired in the middle of the game. You had Woody going off.
You need to get your conditioning up. I don't know what I can't even wrap my mind around the fact that you're asking out of a game. You must be grossly out of shape or something else must be going on. But I don't have the luxury of offensive lineman
though, I don't think he's out of shape. And I don't know. Maybe it's just the new age quarterbacks that nowadays, bro. Some people can feel a little entitled. Some people can get a little too comfortable in the situations that they're in. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just what happened. You know what I'm saying? I've seen guys play through injuries all the time. Like, I'm an Eagles fan, so I've seen Carson Wentz playing through injuries. I seen Carson Wentz's reaction when he had to sit out at least one play, and he hated seeing other quarterbacks take snaps over him. But when you're the franchise quarterback, that's how you're supposed to be. You can't just sub yourself out of a game because you're tired. Like, if you're tired that much, you can communicate. I'm sorry. You could communicate that to your head coach, and then that will allow him to decide which play to run that'll best be suitable for you in that situation. But you can't just sub yourself out of the game, bro. That was just a stupid-ass move.
My helmet to get out of the game. What the hell was that?
Now, I do understand the irony of two men here who are definitely super out of shape.
But even though they're super out of shape, Woody played football. He was an offensive lineman, and Rex Ryan was a head coach. So these are NFL guys right here. They know what they're talking about. And I'm pretty sure if Rex Ryan was the head coach, that shit wouldn't have flied.
Talking about the fact that Anthony Richardson is out of shape and needs to get his conditioning up, but you got former head coach Rex Ryan of the New York Jets and Woody, a former offensive lineman, and they're going to rip into this guy. And that's what the media does. They're going to take any opportunity to put you down as a player, especially when you make a big mistake like this. But
criticism, well-deserved, man. Criticism is definitely, he earned the criticism that he's getting from Willie and Rex, bro. I ain't gonna lie. You just don't do stuff like this as a franchise quarterback. And this is the reason why I was a little iffy on Richardson coming out. Not just because of the fact that he didn't really play a lot of collegiate, games or a lot of high school games. I just thought he was very, very raw, and for the Colts to just thrust him into starting like that, I just didn't think it would bode well for him now. After he did this bullshit, I would be shocked if he didn't get benched.
It was not only these guys ripping into Anthony Richardson about this. This is something that is being recognized by the team as a negative. You may think, hey, maybe in their own organization, because Anthony Richardson scrambles with the football, maybe they're cool with him taking breaks. We're going to get into what the starting center had to say in just a second. But just for those of you who didn't get to see the play, I mean, he was, to try to be a little charitable, he was scrambling, pump fake, ended up breaking a tackle here. And look, this guy's moving. We know he has some pretty extra weight and decent speed there. And he was moving, and he had to scramble most of the game. And part of the reason why I think this is such a big deal is not because he really tapped himself out of the game. Anthony Richardson is sort of desperate where he has to use his legs. I think the big issue here is the fact that he played horribly in this game. Look, if he was...
Damn. Bro. This looked like some Madden numbers, bro. When you playing with your little cousin or something. 2 for 15 passing in the first half. And like I said, he only had that long 69-yard touchdown pass, bro. That's insane, bro. That's insane.
Out there with a great completion percentage, putting up some decent numbers, then I don't think any of these analysts would have too big of an issue with this. But I think the fact that at halftime, he was 2 of 15. This guy was 2 of 15 at halftime. For some reason, Anthony Richardson has this, and you've seen it throughout the entire season, where he will complete a long bomb. If it's a wide open long bomb to Alec Pierce or Josh Downs, any of his wide receivers, he gets that. But when it comes to just regular routine passes, Anthony Richardson has struggled so far in basically his rookie year. Now, in addition to that scramble where he tapped himself out, we talked about that at the top of the video. There are also some other plays that I just feel like he had lackluster energy. This was earlier on in the third quarter, way before he tapped himself out. But you just see him, like, after he's getting tackled, he sort of just lays there for a while. I don't know if he's sort of making a joke, getting helped out by offensive linemen, but it's sort of like a sluggish sort of attitude, almost kind of exasperated by the experience of being an NFL quarterback. And by the way, this is not just bad passing when it comes to at the half, like we mentioned, showing his stats in comparison to
putting up
CJ
Jamarcus
Stroud.
Russell numbers.
This guy has the lowest completion percentage in a season among qualified quarterbacks over the last 20 years. This guy is completing less passes at a percentage rate than freaking Jamarcus Russell. I mean,
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't think it's too early to start putting in y'all bus slips in for Anthony Richardson, bro.
Doesn't get any worse than the Raiders' all-time draft bust. Jamarcus Russell and Anthony Richardson is throwing at a worse rate. Now, I will say Anthony Richardson is much better at scrambling than Jamarcus Russell, but you never want to be associated with that name. So, Ryan Kelly, the center of the Colts, was asked about this tap out by Anthony Richardson.
Sheesh.
I think what he said shows that this is not good for the locker room, man.
I think we had a conversation about it, and I think he knows it's not the standard that that he needs to play up to, and the rest of the team holds him to. And I'll kind of leave the conversation that we had at that. But I'm sure he's going to take some criticism for that. It's just rightfully so, right? I mean, that's a tough look. But I'm also he's out there giving it all for his team, right? And it's not always pretty sometimes. An offensive lull the last couple of weeks, just having a hard time getting going at times. I thought we did some good things in the game, but if anybody ever questions how hard he plays, I don't think that's the case. I mean, if you watch his film, surely, we didn't move the ball effectively at times, but, I mean, he's giving it everything for his teammates. So he's young. I'm sure it's a learning moment for him, and leave it at that.
So
Yeah, he's probably going to get benched. Yeah, this is like, because Ryan Kelly is one of those leaders on the team. He's been there for a while, you know what I'm saying? I think that it left a sour taste in the locker room's mouth when he did that. So I think that the best case scenario, just to kind of set an example for the locker room and the other guys, I think you got to sit Anthony Richardson out at least one game.
The excuses towards the end and sort of the compliments towards the end, saying that Anthony Richardson's a tough player. He plays hard. He gives maximum effort. But what did he say in the very beginning? If you guys paid close attention, in the very beginning, he said we had to talk about that, and that's not what we're supposed to do.
I think we had a conversation about it, and I think it's not the standard that.
It's not the standard. So already admitting off the top that that was a mistake. That is something that the Colts organization is not cool with. That is something that the other players on the team are not cool with. They don't want to see Joe Flacco come in and give yourself a breather. And when Anthony Richardson answered the question talking about this, he was sort of acting like it was okay, almost like he had approval from the head coach. It was a normal routine. I just told Shane I needed a break right there. I just needed a break right there.
I was saying I just needed a break right there.
And he was acting like it was cool, nothing, no big deal. But then when you hear Ryan Kelly, sounds like it's something that's not allowed. Sounds like it's something that should not happen, regardless if you did a great scramble. Which, look, give him some credit. He did do a good scramble there. But I think this is going completely downhill for Anthony Richardson. I cannot imagine a scenario where he finishes every game this year. Not only was this guy dealing with injury issues earlier on in the year, but we've seen Joe Flacco come in and look good. And now you have the Colts head coach, Shane Steichen, this morning, literally 15 minutes before I pressed record on this video, telling reporters on whether Anthony Richardson will start Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings. We're evaluating everything.
Yeah. Like I said before, bro, he's probably going to get benched. Like, I've heard this before. We're evaluating everything. Yeah. Buddy's probably going to get benched. I think it's going to come down to the team. I think what Shane Steichen should do, he should go into the locker room while Anthony Richardson is not there, or he should bring in guys individually into his office and ask him who he should play. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a bad look for the organization. This is a bad look on the head coach. And this is a bad look in the locker room. And this is a bad look on Anthony Richardson, bro. If y'all could remember a couple years back, when the Jets played the Patriots and Zach Wilson, he had a terrible game. And then the reporters asked him, and mind you, the Jets defense played exceptionally well that game too. They had a chance to win off of the defense alone. Just the offense didn't do anything that game. And he turned the ball over multiple times. And then the reporter asked him, is it because of the offense or whatever the case may be that the Jets lost this game and weren't able to move the ball? And he clearly said no. And a lot of people just thought that came off a little insensitive, and he had a lack of awareness, and he literally got benched the next game. So, if Zach Wilson, and mind you, Zach Wilson, they're two totally different scenarios, but Zach Wilson was playing just as bad as Anthony Richardson is playing right now, and I think that's what it ultimately comes down to. So in my honest opinion, I think that Shane Steichen is going to sit him down.
You never want to hear that if you're Anthony Richardson. Head coaches usually nip it in the bud if they're committed to a guy. If this guy, Anthony Richardson, is your franchise quarterback, you're going to say, of course, my franchise quarterback is going to start in this upcoming game on Sunday. That's what you would say. But instead, we have Shane Steichen, who, to his credit, made some stuff work with Gardner Minshew last year. Gardner Minshew,
and that's what I'm saying. Like,
Raiders.
If Shane Steichen can win with Gardner Minshew, I'm pretty sure he can win with Joe Flacco.
But it just showed that if a guy who knows Shane Steichen, Minshew had some time together with the Philadelphia Eagles, they carried that over to the Indianapolis Colts last year. And Steichen sort of proved last year that if he has a guy who's maybe not the most athletically gifted QB, but knows his system, they could do well. And they're one game away from beating out the Houston Texans and making the playoffs last year. And this year, to give Anthony Richardson a little bit of credit, early on in week 1, they went toe-to-toe with the Houston Texans and could have maybe picked up a victory there. But Shane Steichen has to be looking at this offensive production over the past few weeks and thinking, wow, with Minshew, with Joe Flacco, I was able to have more consistent production than with Anthony Richardson. We'll go and show the numbers in just a second, but you have some people still defending Anthony Richardson here. You have this guy. He's a big time Colts fan, it looks like, and he was claiming, and I will admit, I did not go through all of this video, but this guy is claiming that out of all of Anthony Richardson's bad numbers that we're about to show you, a lot of it was on the wide receivers, claiming that he was pressured 6 times, claiming that it hit the wide receivers in the hands, and this guy counts it all up and claims this is the case. And look, the Colts still had a shot to win this game, regardless of all this. But I still think it all goes back to the fact that Anthony Richardson was always grossly inexperienced coming out of the Florida Gators, didn't play many games, and maybe he will be pushed into a rapping. You got people memeing this guy up already. You can't complete 50% of your passes. You might as well start.
The internet is undefeated. Excuse me. The internet is undefeated, man. You can't complete 50% of your passes. You might as well start rapping.
Let
me see how he sounds,
and here comes Anthony Richardson here, definitely busting out a track.
They turn it up, yeah, I'm on go mode. Never turn my back on my brother, yeah, that's the bro code. Cruising in my whip, like the nigga going slow mo.
Yo, his voice is
he sound pretty good. So shit, he might as well fuck around and just pursue a rap career at this point, nigga. Because I don't know, if you can't complete. Let's be for real here, because you got guys in the NFL now are completing like 70% of their passes, 57% of their passes, close to 70. You're a top 4 pick, Anthony Richardson, and you can't complete 50% of your passes, bro. You won't last long in the NFL.
That deep voice down. If he does want to pursue rapping, I think he'll be a lot more successful than some other people in the NFL. Like Darren Waller. But Anthony Richardson, man, take a look at the numbers in 2024. So we mentioned in 2023, the guy did not play much, had that AC joint sprain, pretty much foregoed his entire rookie season. And this year, 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, had that injury in early October, and it just has not been flashy numbers. 31% completion percentage. Damn. 41% against Miami. His best out in completion percentage was against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's because he only threw 4 passes. So, of course, that's going to be good. This guy has not even had a completion percentage above 50.
Any game that he's throwing the ball 20 times or more, he's not completing 50% of his passes. For the season, he's completing 44.4% of his passes, bro. That's unheard of for an NFL starting quarterback, bro. This guy is looking like a bust, bro. Like, he's looking like a bust, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Percent as an NFL QB. That is just not okay. I'm sorry. I mean, you can't be a starting quarterback in the NFL if you're completing passes at that horrible of a rate. And we saw Gardner Minshew. We saw Joe Flacco come in. Joe Flacco's numbers here. Joe Flacco, when he did fill in against the Jacksonville Jaguars, you saw them put up 359 yards, 75 completion percentage. Not too hot against the Tennessee Titans, only a 57% completion percentage, but nonetheless, they got the victory. And I think that has to make Shane Steichen think, you know what, maybe we just got to let this guy get some more NFL experience first. I will say, to give Anthony Richardson a little bit more credit, and we've been mentioning this, he does run the football, 242 yards on the year running the football, averaging about probably 40 yards a game there. So you got to give the guy a little bit of credit. But I still think the fact that this is a huge story, the fact that he kind of didn't really apologize for it after the game, that shows a fracture in leadership. that's going to have the rest of your teammates really not too stoked to run through a wall for you. I mean, how can another offensive lineman go balls to the wall, no breaks, fighting their ass off to block for Anthony Richardson when this guy gets tired on a 3rd and goal, he's liable to take a break and freaking chill. That is just not cool. And that is why you have this being a massive story. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Will Anthony Richardson start this Sunday? It looks like, according to Shane Steichen, it's up in the air. And you know what? I would not blame him, considering the fact that the guy has a completion percentage like freaking Jamarcus Russell. My name is Wi-Fi Willie. Subscribe for more content from me. Peace.
Wow. That's crazy. So, final take on this video, man. Me personally, bro, if I was Shane Steichen, like I said before, I'm sitting him down. You know what I'm saying? It's just not a good look. You know what I mean? The media is all over it already. The players aren't really too thrilled about what happened. I just think that on top of that, Anthony Richardson is not really playing any good football. I just think that if you were going to sit him down for some experience and all that, I think next week would be the perfect time to do it. You know what I mean? People wouldn't really blame you. I mean, you wouldn't really get too much hate for it, because a lot of the Colts fans want to see Richardson out there because they believe that he's only going to get better with more experience. But he's been playing a lot of games, man, and even though the Colts are winning some of these games in spite of him, if you want to look at the Colts season this year, man, they're still kind of in the thick of things when it comes to their division and all that. Do you really want to throw all that away just to give Anthony Richardson some run so he can get some experience under his belt, and he's not really playing good, and he's subbing himself out of games? He's got 4 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. I don't know, bro. I just think that if the Carolina Panthers can sit Bryce Young after 2-3 games of the season, then I'm pretty sure it's not far-fetched that the Indianapolis Colts can't sit Anthony Richardson down for a little minute, man. I think it would be better for him to just learn under Joe Flacco. He definitely needs some PR training. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate his honesty, though. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see what happens. I predict Anthony Richardson getting benched. I think you're going to see Joe Flacco starting this week for sure. You know what I'm saying? But who knows? You know what I mean? But it's not really looking too good for the Colts right now, man, and Anthony Richardson, bro. But y'all go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes, man. And I'm going to get up with y'all in the next video. Peace.